Hi everyone! I just received my very first fiber laser. This is the Monport GPro 30W MOPA laser, and I'm really excited about this one because I've never owned an actual fiber laser before. And since I already have the Monport Onyx R CO2 laser, I think this will be a great addition to my other machines. And before we get started, I know it seems like a bomb exploded in my workshop. It sort of did. I am under a lot of stress and pressure at the moment, so I'm sorry about the mess. But let's show you the unboxing and show you how to set up this laser, and we will do a couple of tests to see if it's easy enough for a beginner like me to get started in the world of fiber lasers. The laser arrived in this wooden crate. I also got the smoke extractor, which I will unbox later. But it is pretty heavy, so I asked my husband to help me unbox this one. He used a screwdriver, probably should have used a crowbar, to get the lid open, and then we unboxed it. Everything is very well packaged, and you have foam surrounding all the parts, so nothing is going to break in the shipment. Before my husband assembled my fiber laser, let's have a look what's inside the box. So you have the laser itself here. This is the laser head. You of course get cables for the power supply. You get some USB sticks, which should contain some files. You get screws for mounting, keys. You get a little pack of, it looks like aluminium business cards. You get goggles, which you have to use when you are operating a laser. You get a foot switch. You get some brackets for mounting, I suppose. You get this little handle thing. You get wrenches. You get a USB cable. And you get a pretty nice long ruler. And then you get the base plate and the stand, which you are going to mount the laser on top of. The user manual didn't really describe a lot about the assembling process, but it was pretty straightforward and logic. So you use the wrenches to attach the laser stand to the base plate, and then it's time to mount the laser arm on the stand. This was a little bit more tricky since you can adjust the arm and the screws are movable. So my husband did have a bit of a trouble to find the holes that went to the screws, but he figured it out and it only took a couple of minutes. And now it's only a matter of plugging in the correct plugs. The laser has labels on the back, so it's really easy to figure out what goes where. On the back, you of course have to plug in your USB cable. If you have a protective cover, you can plug it in here. I don't, but it's definitely a great thing to invest in, because then you don't have to use your goggles every time you are using your laser. Then you have this Mark F2 plug, which you install here. You have a earth connection. I haven't used mine. And then you have a plug for the rotary attachment, which is also handy if you are going to engrave a lot of round objects. And last but not least, you have the power input. On the left side of the laser, you have venting channels, and then you have the cord here that goes straight to the laser. Before setting it up, it's really important that you pay notice to the label on the back, because you will be dialing in all these parameters, which you see here. But now it is time to set it up. On the flash drive, you will be able to find software so you can use it without paying for additional software. I will, however, use LightBurn for mine, but I will take a look at how to set it up with the software that comes on this flash drive. If you are using micro USB, you also get an adapter which is really nice. Once you have connected the machine to the power supply, you connect the machine to your computer using the USB cable. On the flash drive, you will find a lot of software and tools, and you have to install the drive, which is the Cypress drive installer. With my Monport Onyx, I told that the user manual wasn't really handy, but in this case it's actually pretty straightforward. So you just follow the step-by-step guides and then you can install it. Now you can either use the software, which is BSL app Simple, and use Monport's own software to control your laser. They also got step-by-step guides telling you how to set this up. But in my case, I will be using LightBurn, which you can find on the next pages in the instructions book. Since I already have LightBurn installed, I'll simply just add the laser by clicking Find My Laser, and then I can connect it with my fiber. If you are using LightBurn, you will have to have the Pro version of LightBurn to be able to control Galvo lasers. Now comes the slightly difficult stage, because you have to set the parameters. So you click on set icon and then you just follow the guide step by step and look at the label on the back of your machine. I did come into a few problems or issues, so if you need any further help on this specific step, I will be making a new video showing you exactly how to do this. So in case you do need this, please drop a comment below and I'll happily make a new video. But let's skip this for now and just speed it up, because it did take a bit. And I am really impatient, so I just started testing right away without realizing that I forgot to set my laser to millimeters per second instead of millimeters per minute. So once I've set the correct parameters, I tried again and I actually had to calibrate my laser, which I will just shortly tell you a little bit more about. But also, if you want a specific tutorial on how to do that, please drop a comment and I'll of course make a video about that as well. Since I know a lot of you have been waiting for this video to happen, I didn't record everything while I was practicing and running my initial test engravings. But I will share everything that I went through and show you my finished results, which is absolutely amazing. These are actually a few items I finished. I tried engraving stainless steel and it is really deep and the color is pretty dark. I would like it to be just a tiny bit darker, but that's a matter of working on my settings. Also, I tested aluminium cards and they turned out absolutely stunning, and they were absolutely quick to engrave as well. I did run into a lot of issues when I was running the initial tests. First of all, when I was trying to engrave my logo the first time, I don't know if you can see it, but it's stretched. I then tried running some circles, and these were meant to be circles and not ovals, so I knew that something was wrong. I did manage to fix it in the end though, and this is how. Because in LightBurn you can run a calibration test on your Galvo laser. I don't know what went wrong, but while I was running this test, it actually showed that it was going to make the test in this corner. So I placed my sheet down here, or actually I placed it right here, because you can see what happens. It actually engraved in the middle and ran the calibration on my base plate. So I did move my sheet to the center instead and try it again. And after I did it the second time, it did engrave circles, but I still noticed that it wasn't perfectly calibrated anymore, so I actually ran an additional test. And now it is perfectly calibrated. and I will be making a lot more videos in the future on how I find my settings, and also make some dedicated projects to show you exactly how to do it. But it is a lot of playing around and trying different things, and as said, this is my very first fiber, so it's definitely a learning curve for me as well. But in regards of setting up the laser, I will actually say that Monport did really good this time. I previously told you that I wasn't impressed by the manual that came with my Onyx, but for this fiber laser it was a bit more instructional. It could still be a little better, but I'm completely new to fiber lasers and I managed to figure out, so hopefully you could too. And I don't know if it would have been easier if I used the software that came with the machine instead of LightBurn. And I am honestly not going to find out, because I love using LightBurn, so I would rather try and figure out how it works directly in LightBurn. There are a few things that I didn't realize until I actually went ahead and turned on my machine and tested it. So first of all, remember to remove the cap from your laser heads before you do anything, and also always use your goggles, because you will damage your eyes if you are looking straight into the laser. Also, this little handle, I didn't know what to use for in the beginning of my video, but you actually attach it over here, because it is for tightening and loosening to be able to set your focal distance. For the focal distance, you will have a calibration line over here, and that's actually where the ruler comes in handy, because they already wrote where my focal distance is. So I can take this ruler, run it down to my material, and then I can set the right focus height. It does have a dot system as well, so you actually have 3 dots, and when they turn into 1, your laser is in focus. But it is sometimes nice to be able to use the ruler as well, just to double check. And these things are to screw on top of your material. Let's say I wanted to make 1,000 of my business cards, then I could place these and I could make sure that the card is positioned the same direction. Another very important thing is proper ventilation. I haven't unpacked smoke extractor yet, but I will, and this is one that I also got from Monport, and mine is capable of adding 1 hose, but you can actually buy a dual hose as well in case you are running multiple machines at once. So I will be boxing this one, but I will do it in my next video, as well as more project tutorials. But I really hope that you learned something from my video, and if there's anything that you would like me to show you or teach you, please write it in the comments and I will definitely make more videos, because I am truly in love with this fiber laser. Since it is the only one I've got, I also have the Laserpecker LP4 and LP5, which is combi fiber and diode, but this is my first actual fiber laser. And since it is my first and I'm totally new to fiber lasers, it's definitely also a learning curve for me, but I'm always happy to share everything that I learn, so you can skip my mistake. If you are interested in watching more of my videos, you can check out the playlist up here. Otherwise, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you found this information usable, please drop a comment, like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I will happily show you more. My affiliate link and discount code is dropped in the description. If you use my code MiMo, you get 8 to 10% off all Monport lasers, also if they are already running
a cell. See you soon!